Digital deceiver shadows lie in the mix. White socks. We don't chase clout, we chase truth. Now let's go. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to everybody. Happy Wednesday morning. We have made it to hump day. I hope everybody's having a good morning. Apologize for my lateness. I went to turn it on, and when I keep all of my apps in little boxes. And so I hit the social media box, and TikTok was updating. I was like, really? 6:30 in the morning, you want to update? But whatever it is, it has updated, so hopefully we'll be good for a while. Welcome in, everyone. You know what we're here for. If you're a member of the team, hit the daily heart me. If not, stick around. And if you enjoy what you hear, join the team. Gifts are appreciated, but not expected. I would do this regardless. I ask that every time I change the photo, that you double tap the screen until you feel the heart stale, and then take a break. Nothing new today. Good morning, mods. I see you. Thank you for being here. I do too, Nikki. I do too. Shout out to TikTok president. I don't know why. Well, I have nails on and they hit everything. Okay, first things first. I have done the March calendar. I didn't do it for February, and I realized that probably would have helped a lot to have one. Now, the reason why there isn't a digital after dark is because one weekend is Mr.'s birthday. One weekend is the anniversary of both of my mother and my former husband's anniversary of their unaliving. And then there's March Madness. And I'm sorry, y'all. It is the thing that thrills me every single year. You think I love UFC. March Madness is my time of year. So don't worry about snapping a photo. I mean, you can, but I'm going to post it. Hey, Miss Coffee, Sherry, Disturbed One. I see you all. I think I saw, Granny Annie and Erica. Hey, Cat Daddy. I see you too. Anyway, so, yes, this is the plan for the month. Morning. I miss you guys too. Let me just tell you. I'm sitting here on a regular Saturday morning. I get a phone call from a girl that grew up with my son. And I consider her kids my grandkids. I consider her a daughter. And she was like, hey, what you doing? And I was like, nothing. Like always, like nothing. And she's like, I'm 2 hours away. I was like, what? And they plan on moving here, which I adore. I can't wait. And she just decided to pop up on me. And it was the best. It is crazy that it's already March, about to be March. It really is. So I'm sorry, y'all, but that's one of my doll babies. And when she comes, everything stops. I can't wait for her to move here. So I'm going to post this and pin it to the top. Obviously, if something happens on one of the days that I'm supposed to go live, I will post it. A 4th of 2026 is gone. Almost. Wait. Yeah. So it's not that I don't care about y'all. But that's my doll baby. So I will post this. Come on, man. Sometimes having nails on is the worst. Okay, let's get to what y'all really came for. Y'all came here for no calendar. Let's look at the grid. So, today we're going to talk about Fae Fae, Tim and Angela. I'm going to talk about Tashanique, but I really just have some information I want to share with you that somebody else posted, and I spent some time really looking at it. Very interesting. Oh, that's supposed to say Stella. I'm sorry. I always mess up something because I'm doing it too late at night. I didn't do this till after midnight. A bolo named Raquel, Kat, and her little brief return yesterday. Peaches, because dry begging is a talent. Megan and Alexander, who seems to think that he is God's gift to women. Sir, you are not. Who do I want to start with? I'm going to start with Megan because it's a quick one. I don't understand how this group of people decide to do something, make a conscious decision. Not that something happened to them, but they make a conscious decision and then expect TikTok to pay for it. I don't understand. See, before you were able to lie your way into having people believe that you were homeless by no fault of your own. And we remember that her family member who she was living with came in and said, yeah, we had to put them out because of the rugs, the alcohol, the wild behavior. But she told everybody the story was in reverse. So, of course, you have to leave that environment, and you had people who wanted to support you through that. Okay, when the money slowed down enough, you two made sure you went right back home to your families. And you started to get your life together, which I support 100%. And I said so. But then you make the conscious decision to leave your grandmother's house because your girl isn't welcome. And instead of saying to yourself, okay, she's home with mom, I'm home with family, I'm going to work and stack until we can figure this thing out. And maybe get a hotel room 1 or 2 weekends a month or your days off. And have her come down. And that way you aren't violating her family's rules. You're not violating your family rules. And then it might have to be like that for a little while. But you get mad. And of course, you're blaming this on your grandmother. But we haven't heard from the family. So we don't know if her story is even accurate. But let's rock with it. Why would she leave and go get a hotel room her paycheck can't afford? Thank you, Granny Annie. Why? Why would you do that to yourself? But then to think, you know what? I could just go to TikTok for the money. I can't afford to stay here, but you aren't you. The only thing you're showing Claudia is that sticking with you means she'll live in poverty. You're so busy trying to impress her with the little you have. You haven't even figured out how to get beyond this point. Hey, TikTok president. It doesn't even make sense. What are we doing? And again, you don't have anybody in your life that can tell you, what is it? Oh goodness, what is the saying? I used to say it all the time. Penny wise, pound foolish. You're penny wise, pound foolish. So now you work, but you're going to take your entire paycheck to pay for a hotel room and food? Right, hardly right. $5 for the hotel room. My question is, was it for a hotel room or was it for food? White socks. You are already sitting in my lap, buddy. What are we doing? When I tell you, I don't know, the last few days, oh, I know what it is. While I had company, he hid the entire time. He hid the entire time. And so now he needs to literally be on top of me. Okay, right here, right here. And he's 12 pounds, which is heavy. And I mean 12 pounds of dead weight. When he drops, it is everything. Okay, you're okay, buddy. Sweet little white socks. Yeah, okay. He's not sweet and he's not little. You are sweet. I'm sorry. When you want to be. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, TikTok president. So, Megan, I don't know if you'll hear this. I don't know if any of your sycophants will tell you. But you're being a penny wise and a pound foolish. You are never going to advance to a car and an apartment, living in a hotel that you can't afford. Make up with your family, and I'm not saying make up to be fake. Make up with your family and go back there and stack your bread. Also, make up with your family because I thought I was in love multiple times. Multiple times. And guess what? I don't speak to them now. They're non existent. But guess who is still around? My family. Wait, what did you say? Life is short. A lady in my town got hit while pumping gas the other day and didn't make it. Erica, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry to that lady and her family, but life is short. What do I say at the end of every live? Tomorrow isn't promised to any of us. Yes, you are. You have no choice in the family you're given. Oh no. But at the end of the day, when everything is crashing around you, it's family. Could you please find somewhere to go? Oh, I'm sure, Erica. I'm sure. It is. I don't know if y'all saw the video. Hey, Disturbed One. I don't know if y'all saw the video, but a 19-year-old young man was out on bond for for a crime. He unalived a 16-year-old and got charged with murder and attempted murder. And he's out on bond. So he's sitting in the courtroom with his mama. Not the courtroom, like the hallway. And the father of the 16-year-old ran up on him and did his best to beat him up. And the aunt recorded the whole thing and was like, get him, get him, get him. And of course they arrested the father. But everybody, I saw the video and then I read an article about it because the father got released. And there wasn't a single person that was like, the father was wrong. Because what is he doing out on bond charged with that? You saw it, Granny Annie? Yo, it was crazy. That man didn't think when he woke up that morning that his 16-year-old son wouldn't be here. And now the person who did it is out on bond chilling with his mama. Let me tell you something. Now, I'm not saying this is true for every family. Some people, it is better to be away from family. A friend of mine says, it's a saying, oh, blood makes you a relative, loyalty makes you family. So I understand. I don't get along with everybody in my family. But you're being short-sighted. And what's funny is that Claudia isn't ruining her relationship. She's maintaining her house, her car, her family arrangement. And let me tell you something, Megan. You are so hard pressed to want to be with her. And the things you're doing are going to be the thing that loses her. You think she want to live in hotels day to day, wondering what she's going to eat? She's not. She's young. And this is all exciting. When she hits 30, this is no longer going. She's not even going to last till 30. If you don't get yourself together, she isn't going to last until 30. Oh my goodness, wait, sucks. By the way, it's 30 degrees here right now. Please, I need you to find somewhere to go. It's 11 there, but guess what? It's 30 degrees now. It's going to be 73 later. Like, please make it make sense. He's driving me crazy today, y'all. Oop, Jordan Paul is live. Anyway, that's my speech to Medina. It's minus 27. I'm good. I'm good. I left the Northeast and now I'm living it. Let's see who's next. Let's talk Stella because the scammer got scammed. But this isn't about a lesson for her, but a lesson for the people who think giving any of them money is going to really make a difference. So she comes on and talks about how she had a rough week. Okay. And she said that she got paid on a Monday. And another homeless person who I'm assuming she met on the app. She said they were TikTok friends, not just like somebody that comes in her live, but they were talking. And in their talks, decided to get together so that the two of them together can pull themselves out of their unhoused situation. And the one thing I will say about Stella is she will go to YouTube University, Internet University, and figure something out. I will give her that. So her car needs something, she will figure out how to fix it herself. Anyway, so I'm sure she's thinking, okay, and it's a guy, not a romantic relationship at all. But she's thinking the things I can't do, the guy could do, and vice versa. So she gets her paycheck. They agree that he's going to come down, and she gives him the gas money to get to her. Okay, fair enough. On his way there, he starts complaining about how he can't get used to living in his car. He can't sleep in the car. And she's like, just get here. He finally gets there. And he's complaining so much. And she's like, he says to her, he either said you're used to it or you're accustomed to it, something like that. And that pissed her off. She's like, just because I'm not losing my mind and crashing out doesn't mean that I want to live this way. But to calm him down, she gets a hotel room. She pays for all the food. She even pays for his laundry to get washed. She pays for a second hotel night. And then she found herself with $6. $6 for a whole week. That's what happened. He left her and was like, I can't live like this. And then she went to her social worker, caseworker, something, and said, I'm left with $6. That's not enough gas to keep me and my children, meaning her cats, warm for the week. And the worker said, if I give you a gas card, I'm promoting homelessness. Which I found to be a very weak excuse. Like, and maybe they want her to give up her cats and go into a shelter. I don't know. But that was weak. Y'all should have came up. You should have just told her no. Like, you're promoting homelessness? That was crazy. But the scammer got scammed. Because you thought you were investing in someone to better their life. And what you found out was he had no limit until you ran out of money. And then you were no longer useful to him. And it pissed you off. Fair warning to anybody giving them money. There's no end game for them. Because even when they get out of the situation, they'll find a reason to want your money. Even if that means they have to go back into a worse situation in order to ask for money. It's never enough. When you want to talk about what's the difference between somebody I cover and somebody I don't, that's one of the red flags. It's never enough. They'll say, I don't care about food, I just want my room. And then turn right around and be like, okay, now that I have my room, I want food. Oh, you know I got to get some alcohol with my dinner. Oh, I work every day, all day, and go to school, but you have to pay for my hotel room every single day. And unfortunately for Stella and Fae Fae, their attitude is so piss poor that they're never going to get the assistance they see other people get. They're mean to everybody. In Stella's case, do not be a conservative, because she doesn't even want your conservative money. And guess what Fae Fae is? The opposite. Don't be a liberal in Fae Fae's comments. But y'all want people's money. Like, make it make sense. So I know Stella isn't going to learn the lesson, because for her, it was just a personal attack. But it is a lesson for anybody who thinks that their $25, $50, $100 is actually going to make a difference. It may make a difference that day, but there's no end. Grammy, do you know how desperate you have to be to say that? You know how desperate you have to be? Then she started this thing, White Sox. Oh, Lord, I wasn't calling you. I was telling you to stop. Now she started this thing where I believe it's 7 o'clock my time. She teaches meditation. I'm sorry, y'all. White Sox. What is the problem, bro? Huh? You literally just fell. And unplugged the phone. Oh, Hippie Harley's back. I don't know if y'all saw that, but that should be interesting.
My phone is connected and charging.
He's not a sweet boy. Y'all stop saying that. Because right now, he is on my last nerve. Anyway, She teaches meditation. And that's fine. Like, that's cool. Why are you so angry about it though? Somebody was like, oh, I use an app. And she was like, I'm teaching you that you don't need an app because somebody's making $100 million sending you an app and you can just do it. Calm down. Really, Sandy? Yeah, boys will be boys. Why are you so upset? Again, and this is how you know it's not genuine. To say to somebody they can't use an app for their meditation, that they have to do it your way, that's your part of your problem. You think that if anybody does it differently than you, that there's something wrong with them. There's more than one way to meditate. It doesn't have to be Stella's way. Are you upset because you think somebody will go to an app and not watch you? If you weren't so angry, if you were more pleasant, more welcoming, more open, more people might want to learn to meditate from you. Because it is good to be able to meditate in any circumstance. Whether you have a phone, whether it's charged, whether you have an app, but your attitude sucks. You want to say that you don't crash out about your circumstances, but what you end up doing is crashing out about everything else. Yep, this is why you win, because I put taking you. Go ahead. Just get comfortable. Do whatever you want because you're on my last nerve. Intermission, guys, because White Sox has to find how to get comfortable on top of me. Figure it out, buddy. Okay. He's gotten comfortable because he's a bully. So you might hear some purring soon. Oh, now I gotta rub him. Oh, really? Adopted two kittens from the shelter? Your kitty is here for White Sox. Boy, is he on my lip. Listen, you okay now? All right. That's why he remains a bully. Because he knows if he keeps bullying, he will get his way eventually. So, Stella, calm down. Calm down. It might serve you better. People may want to stick around and actually hear what you have to say about meditation. I don't know if everything you say is accurate, but you actually make meditation sound fantastic. What you shouldn't do though is poo poo prayer. You may not pray, and that's fine. But again, when you poo poo it, you're going to lose people. Just say if people want to pray, pray. If that's what you want to do, do. I choose meditation. Good morning, Marine Mama. Stella's not going to get anywhere with her attitude. Can you imagine her trying to negotiate with somebody? Something that would actually benefit her? She's angry about the world and the world around her. That does your 1 minute of meditation isn't going to solve that. It literally requires an attitude adjustment. Oh, both of my babies are from the shelter too. I have purchased 3 animals in my life. Four. Four. Never again. Four? Three. Three. They were all dogs. I've never paid for a kitty. Oh, that's great, Sandy. There's so many animals in shelters. Calling BS because she doesn't. And I feel bad for the cats. A cat is not meant to live in a car. And certainly not 3. Can you imagine the ammonia smell? Like, AI just said, discussing a viewer's aggressive meditation, teaching, and attitude. Share your take. Yes, I have seen Hippie Kitty Mama. Her attitude is just as piss poor. Oh, come on. This is Raquel. Raquel. As you can see, she goes by Rack or Rack Girl 5. She's a bolo today. But when I tell you that my spidey senses aren't wrong, yes, please tap, tap, tap. I've changed. If I were homeless, I would prefer a dog. A lot of them do. She had the cats before she was homeless. But my thing is this, keeping them in a car is selfish. It's pure selfish. They always want to say, oh, they're going to unalive them. Not necessarily. My local shelter doesn't unalive anybody. And the community will call around and try to find somewhere for them to go. Okay, back to Raquel. So I'm just scrolling TikTok. I like to do that every once in a while. I went in somebody's live and they were like, why are you here? I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm like, I'm just scrolling. I'm just scrolling. Rochester, I love that. So I was waiting for the thing that made her a bolo. So I stuck around for a good amount of time. And I got to hear quite a bit of her story, or at least the part she tells. So she used to have a fantastic relationship with her father. She has a horrible relationship with her mother and blames her mother for a lot. She too is a mother of either 2 or 3 children. I honestly don't remember and I didn't write it down. But there are multiple children. I just don't remember if it's 2 or 3. And she had him with a man from Mexico. And the man at some point went back to Mexico and unfortunately was unalived in, I believe, a motorcycle accident. So now she's left with these children and he's not there to support. But she said he was fantastic while he was living, which is awesome. She doesn't have her children now. Her children are now in Mexico with the paternal grandparents. So it's just her. And she hasn't seen her children in, I believe, 2 years. But like that's her deepest desire. But one of the things that has her so upset is that apparently, and I'm not sure if it was a grandfather who passed, the father who passed, I'm not sure. But there was a farm with obviously a good amount of land on it that she feels like should have come to her, and it didn't. And she blames her mother for that because that's where her and her kids were supposed to live and grow up. And I'm listening to the story. But you guys know how I feel. If everything is everybody else's fault, I have questions. But I kept my questions to myself this time because I wanted to hear it. She talks about how she's getting sick. I don't hear nothing about a job, nothing about looking for a job, nothing about trying to get a job. And at first I thought she was living with an aunt. But that apparently went left. And then lo and behold, somebody comes into the live, into the comments, and says, "We got it. I was able to extend until Monday." And I was like, ding, ding, ding. And see, you would think people use language in a certain way. When they're staying in a hotel, they'll say, "You have another night." But when you're in an Airbnb, they say, "I was able to extend." This chick is in an Airbnb paid for by people on TikTok. And she thinks coming live a few times a day is worth people continuing to keep her in an Airbnb while she doesn't take care of her children. And when somebody was like, "Well, why don't you go to Mexico?" "Oh, there aren't jobs here." Well, bitch, you don't have a job now. What's the difference? And then she's like, "You think they would feed me?" Let me just tell you something. Especially people in small towns, they will get together and make sure everybody eats. They're not going to feed the mother of their grandchildren. Always an excuse, always somebody else's fault. Now, she already has trolls. That's before 300 of us knew about her. Now, I'm not suggesting that you troll her. In fact, I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But let's give her a little attention and see if we can't gather some more facts to figure her out a little bit more. She's in a very nice Airbnb, by the way. And she has a backup account. I haven't figured it out. Well, I didn't try to figure it out until last night because somebody got her main taken and then she went to her backup and then came back to her main, and somebody got it restricted, and she was having. Oh, she really likes. Oh, really, Sally Weaver? You know her? Who? I don't know. I honestly don't know. Because while I was watching, the person just said we were able to extend until Monday. But when I saw her yesterday, she was still in there. I'm just like, I have a nonprofit I want to start. Where are going to be all of these people when it's time for me to talk about my nonprofit? Nowhere. Nowhere. There are hungry children where they live. And if they're not in the local community, they're in the community across the tracks. Correct. She needs a job. How about you help the grandparents take care of your kids? So it's a bolo because I haven't been watching long. But you know this, I'm watching it and I'm watching it and I'm watching it, and the spidey senses are like, stick around, don't leave, stick around. And when I saw that person come in and say, we got it, and she's like, mind you, she got it, right? They were able to extend till Monday. And she wants to know if a particular person sent $10. Why does it matter? They got it to extend for you. It's ridiculous. Like, where did these people come from? And I swear, you get one or two to walk away, and five pop up. And see, somebody like her flying under the radar a little bit. Flying under the radar a little bit with small. Oh, thank you, Granny. I'm a dinosaur. So, why am I saying that about myself? I'm a young chicken. I'm a young chick. I'm a dinosaur. Girl, you say the wrong thing sometimes. Thank you, thank you. These small followings, they think they're going to run right under the radar and not get caught. Sometimes, y'all, just scroll TikTok. Especially if you have a backup. Just scroll. You'd be surprised what's going on in the streets on your backup versus your main. But she has a backup. I want to figure out what that is. Okay, next is Zim. This is Zim, but it's not necessarily about her current nonsense. Everybody knows I shouldn't say everybody. I got in her box after the whole fiasco with Boss Lady and tried to get her to understand that there are people who are pretending to be your friend, but they're not really there to support you. They look like they do, They're making a bunch of promises like they do. But when you have somebody come in and tell you to get rid of all of your mods, people who've been riding for you all this time, tell you to separate from the people who have had your back, want all of your personal information, saying that they're going to file their taxes with your children and then give you the money, and I've only known you a few weeks. And how it all came off was that while Zim was live, Boss Lady called somebody else to talk crap about Zim and claimed she knew that she wasn't on mute. Girl, that was a hot mic. Because you called her a bee and was like, why is she trying to play me? Like, what? And why wouldn't you have had that conversation with Zim offline? She got caught and she tried to make it about everything else but what she said about Zim. And Zim started crying because she realized something wasn't right. They got offline, they had a conversation, a whole bunch of word salad. And when Zim came back, Zim was like, oh no, she was saying this and that and this and that, and that's not what she meant. And when I tell you, the people who talk about her and the people who talk to her got together and was like, no, baby girl. And even Kiki, and I don't agree with Kiki on much, but on that day, we were all aligned. That lady is playing you, and you're about to put yourself and your family in her hands. Think twice, baby. She got you moving out of state where you have no support. And so you are solely reliant on her and her approval, because she even proves that even though she doesn't own the homes, that the landlords listen to her. So if Zim pisses her off, is she going to go to the landlord and say, kick Zim out? They listen to her. She even went so far as to call somebody that she placed in a home. She didn't tell them they were on live. She started just asking them questions. And depending on the state, considering that TikToks are recorded, you spoke to them without letting them know they would be recorded. You didn't even say, hey, listen, I'm on TikTok, nothing. You just started asking them questions and proving that you're the one in charge. And I tried to say to her, baby, no, And Zim was quiet the entire time. And I'm sitting here thinking, she's listening, she's absorbing, she's taking it in. And while I don't agree with her on much, if I have the opportunity to warn you, like, baby, you're 25. I've lived a lot more life than you. I have seen this before. And other people were doing the same thing. Even people who support them were like, that's not your friend. I'm thinking Zim is taking it in. She's hearing from people on both sides. Be careful. You know what Zim did? Zim turned it on us and tried to, hey, off for one, and tried to say to us we were wrong. Because why aren't we ever here to support? Why aren't we sending her money for her daughter's birthday? What? That she knows better. That she isn't putting her family in anybody's hands. That taxes haven't been filed and she don't know her business. Really? Boss Lady wouldn't have promised you everything if she wasn't getting your business. But she literally turned it into a beg for her daughter's birthday. I was floored. I don't know why I was floored, but I was floored. Like, your silence wasn't about you absorbing the information. It was, how can I flip this? This is after her saying that she wanted to run out in the street and unalive herself. I don't know if she was saying to say it. Some people suggest that she does have a mental health diagnosis. We all know how I feel about that. But for you to turn that into a grift and say, why aren't we? Girl, we might have saved you thousands of dollars and your children. And you're worrying about getting money for a birthday party. You laid down and had those kids that you claim are a blessing from God. So have the conversation with God, not us. On one hand, you're just 25 and you're figuring it out. And in the next breath, you know everything. You just say what you need to say to get money out of people. I don't know what you believe and what you don't believe. But anyway, somebody posted a receipt of hers from Walmart. Now, it's going to be hard to see because it is a copy of a copy of a copy. But sometimes I get curious enough to study something. And when I study it, I'm going to bring it to you. Now, I apologize. I reached out to the person who posted it and asked if they could send me the total bottom, but I didn't hear from them. So let me show you the parts that I have because they're interesting. So this is just a picture of the receipt, okay? And as you can see right in the middle of the page, it says subtotal $514.64. Okay? She went wild at Walmart that day. So I broke it down, made it smaller. So as you can see, that subtotal of 514.64, right? Well, when she got that amount, she immediately voided a couple of items and brought it down to $421.52. That wasn't enough, and she voided some more items and brought it down to 300. Hold on, guys. Of course, I got to do the puzzle piece right in the middle. Okay, and brought it down to $345.56. And then she voided the bank card transaction. You see right here, it says customer canceled bank card. Okay. Then, after doing that, she voided some more items down to it's either $82 or $92. Okay. And with tax, that came to $313.73. She ran her card. Debit declined, reason 51. I'm going to show you that in a minute. She did it again with a different card, I'm assuming. And that was reason 39 for the decline. So let me show you. I looked up the codes, of course, because I don't know what they are. And code 39 is the card number presented is not associated with a credit card account. So what I'm thinking is she hit credit and not debit. Okay? I've made that mistake. You just hit the wrong button. And then, I'm sorry, code 51. Echo, stop. He's always in my business. Code 51 was insufficient funds. I think 51 came first, right? Didn't 51 come first? Yes. Reason 51 came first. Oh, reason 51 came first. Insufficient funds. Reason 39 came second. Now, that's as far as the receipt took me. But I don't know if she actually got another card, whether she bought anything at all. No, it wasn't food. It wasn't food. Look, this is going to be so hard for you guys to see. White socks. So just looking here, I see toddler jeans, girl top, Reebok jacket, another Reebok jacket, Prism makeup, site merch, 2 sets of sneakers, Disney doll. This is an EBT. Okay, no problem. Listen, you might be asking a question that somebody else has. This is the receipt up until the point where I can't see it anymore. Blue Eyes, what would you do? What would you do? See, you're worrying about the wrong thing. Because, first of all, I didn't find this. Somebody else did. That's for A. For B, when we're so busy trying to prove things to people, like you spent all this money on these items that people have given you money for, oh, it would be a wrap? A wrap for who? A wrap for who? She posted it herself. Well, there you go. There you go. She posted it herself. I took the time to look at it closely, but it would be a wrap for me? This is what I don't understand. They tell us all their business, and then we're wrong for being able to look at it and read it? Blue Eyes. Did somebody mute her? Because would you post a receipt like that? Huh? See, people don't want us to talk about something, but when it gets posted and I just take the time to look at it, a rap for who? Your TikTok page, maybe? Out of embarrassment? Be for real. She claimed she ain't have enough for all them some shoes, but bought him the Visa card. Okay, CNG, have a fantastic day at work. Wayne, why does it matter? Do you know how much money people give her for everything she asks for? And if you didn't know you didn't have that much money, why would you put all of this in your cart? You mean to tell me that as you're shopping around, you're not thinking, I might have $100. I have $200. Honestly, can you see the light? I never saw the bottom. I asked for the bottom, but nobody sent it to me. You walk up there with $500 worth of stuff and then post the receipt? Heather, I have no idea. And I'm not going to put that on her. Right, live life. They sure do. It don't matter. It doesn't matter what they do. It doesn't matter. Everything they do and they say, even when they get caught lying, they get caught begging for money, but never have the answer for it. None of it. It's okay though. It's okay though. You guys want to talk about a sad young mother. She couldn't afford, I'll give her credit and say she couldn't afford the third one. How did we get to three more? Because people were giving her money. And when she was battling strong, she was actually doing pretty good. But battling requires that you share that money with TikTok. And if people were willing to give her that much money battling, then they would be willing to give her that much money directly into her account. Let me go back to her picture. Oh, it's been more than two birthdays. Believe me. It's been more than two birthdays. You ever see when one of them as an adult had a birthday and the pictures they would show, the outfits, the alcohol, the hotel room. But then not even a week or two later, you were talking about how you needed money to get food to feed the kids. Again, As long as you keep giving, they'll never have enough. Oh, the second birthday this year. Yeah, well, it's going to be every birthday this year. Do y'all remember what she said last year for her birthday? That this year she would not be pregnant and she's leaving the country. How? How? And you going to leave 6 kids with him, including Blessing? Correct, calling BS. And people are working hard at pulling her file. Working real hard to pull her file. Please do, Michelle. You can email it to me at digitaldeceivershadow@gmail.com. Of course, Miss Coffee. It's a different face for a different platform. And unfortunately for her, she thinks this is going to continue for as long as she wants it to. You spend so much time on TikTok morning, noon, and night. While we listen to your children scream and cry and get into it, and you yell at him to do something about it, and he doesn't. But you want to tell me that your children have structure? Are you waiting for them to go to school to learn anything? Because you're setting your children up. Other parents are spending time teaching their children their colors and their numbers and how to read and sitting down and reading them a book every day, teaching them how to be in public and sit quietly. And you're like, it's his house, he can cry. Or it's their house, they can cry. Yes, but at some point, they're not going to be in the house. If you allow your son to think that everything he wants, he can have because he's the son of the house, what's going to happen when he goes into the real world at 4 or 5? Thank you, I got it. It's crazy to me. And I will say this again. Some of these women have women in their families who have made these same decisions and wouldn't give them a dime. They would be like, you better go get EBT, you better go get on Section 8, you better this, you better that, but we'll send them $25, $30, $100. Like it's nothing. Rosalind, who's still babies? They are still babies. This isn't about them. This is about her and their father, who she claims does so much. But he ain't on no paperwork though. He ain't on no paperwork though. No problem, Sanji. I got the receipt now. I'll look at it and tell you guys on Friday. The grown women around her are failing her. And because she sees me as only an op, me saying anything to her is going to go in one ear and out the other because she thinks that my advice is meant to hurt her. That's not the case at all. That's further from the case. Anybody who's heard me in a chat with anybody knows that that's not how I get down. Somebody even said to me after I was in her box, I thought you was going to tear them up. You're too nice. Because that's just who I am. If I get the opportunity to talk to you, I'm going to give you respect off the rip, especially on your platform. But if you only see me as an op, as a troll, as somebody trying to get clout off of you, you're not going to listen to anything I have to say. So the women that do have her ear, what are y'all doing? Because this is what's crazy. You want to now use her baby as the excuse as to why she can't do anything. She's been doing this longer than this baby has been alive. What are you talking about? You know why he felt like he didn't need to do anything all this time? Because all of her expenses were being paid for by the government while he hid. You, for people who aren't familiar with the way government services works, is when they find out who the father of the baby is, they go after him not for child support. Well, though they can. I mean, she has to file. But they go after him to reimburse the state for the money they've been paying. That's how it works. It happened to me when I had my son. I was 19. I went in, and at that time, you had to go to the town first. And when I ran out of town funds, I went to the state. And I went with my baby daddy because I didn't know how it worked. And they were like, do you know who the father is? And I turned to him. I'm like, this is him. And they were like, well, if we give you benefits, he's going to have to pay the state back. And I was 19. And I was like, thank you, no thank you. Because for what? Why pay him back? That was 30 something years ago. So I know it's gotten stricter now. But he has a job. But he has a job? Because the moment his social security card gets tapped once, they're coming.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, host and chat. Good morning, happy Wednesday. So, I'm not sure if you had tuned into the live we had on Monday, but she has put him up for child support. He's up for child support. Um, that's why she's able to receive welfare right now. So she's receiving welfare for him. We pulled the documents online. We went in together and paid for the documents. So he's up for child support, and it's already they already got it documented. If he works, if he finds a job, his wages will be garnished. If he files taxes, his taxes will be taken. And this is exactly how we know he is not working. He's not
Correct.
working. And matter of fact, he's pretty much non-existent to her because they've been trying to find him to serve him. That's how you know that his name is not on that list with her. He's pretty much completely missing in her eyes, if that makes sense.
It absolutely makes sense.
So that's how she's receiving welfare for her kids. She gets the welfare in the beginning of every month. She's receiving welfare simply because she put Tyler up for child support.
How many babies ago though?
That was that was for three kids. In 2024, we seen that the case had been updated, so I'm sure she added that one. Not sure if she's added this last one yet, but I think it's for five kids now. The sixth one hasn't been added yet.
I wonder if that's why she tried to delay getting the benefits to
And
not start immediately.
if you notice, oh, also this too. Let me tell you this. We were able to see copies of the birth certificate, and she pretty much signed his name on one of them. The other one, his name is not listed.
What?
Yeah, yes, ma'am. So if you notice when the police come, he's always in the back room hiding. CPS did go back there again 2 weeks ago. She, they didn't open the door. They went in the back room, and she told the kids, "Let's play hide and seek," and they hid in the back room.
All on live.
Uh, yeah, no, she was on the phone with the ex mod boss lady. She was on
Uh,
the phone with the ex mod boss lady when they showed up.
and so how do we know that they played hide and seek?
She was on the phone with boss lady. She told the kids, she was like, let's go, scrambling them to get in the bedroom and be quiet. She told them they was gonna play a game of hide and seek. She was on the phone with boss lady when they showed up, and boss lady told us about the phone call and them coming.
Wow.
Yep. But if you notice when the police come, he's always in the back hiding. Always.
Oh yeah, she's the mouthpiece for
Yeah.
sure. She has to be.
Yeah. So, and I'm not sure if y'all missed it yesterday. Every day, which I wish people realize, every day she's gonna come up with something to beg for. When on Tuesday, no, it was Monday. On Monday, she said that she wasn't able to get all of the baby's medicine, which we know the baby is on Medicaid. Medicaid is gonna cover the baby's medicine. She raised for
Exactly.
money for the medicine, and on top of that, she said that her account was in the negative $30. So first of all, they had to get her account out of the negative and then send money for the medicine. On top of that, yesterday she said that she needed $100 for milk. So every day, what people need to realize is every day Zim is gonna sit there and make up something and think of something for her to beg for, even when she don't even need it, because it's all about the money with her. I'm not sure if you were tuned in to the live where It's Me actually spoke with, I think, the lady who was her once her guardian. Zim left home. She wasn't following rules. She wasn't being obedient. She left home and called back and told them that she was gonna move in with her stepbrother, which is her dad's son, which is her baby's father, and she had fallen in love with him, and that's who she was gonna be with. She also mentioned that Zim pretty much has an addiction. Not gonna say her rug of choice online, but she pretty much has an addiction. And they also mentioned that pretty much none of them have family that's worth anything. So pretty much the kids are better off with them, which makes no sense because you might as well let them go with the family because they're not being treated much better with them. Also, she mentioned that Zim is very mental and that if her kids or could possibly be removed, that she would unalive herself, possibly unalive the kids, and everybody in the house. And she has mentioned that. Not sure if you've seen the clip. She said that if they try to take her kids, she will unalive herself and the kids too, which is more of a reason why.
What?
Yeah, you haven't seen that clip yet?
No.
Oh yeah, she said it online. She said they'll all be in there laid out if they come in there and try to take her kids. She said it, and I know a bunch of people in the comments. Yeah, they heard her say that. She said that. So, which is more of a reason why they need to be removed until she can get herself together mentally. And it's just simple as that.
And I'm thinking a receipt is gonna speak the truth. Jesus.
Yeah, yeah. So
What
a
is
lot
the
has
plan
happened with
now that
her.
boss lady is gone?
Yeah, boss lady is gone. Um, yeah,
So where
boss
they
lady is
moving
gone.
to?
They're not moving. As of right now, but I do know the landlord. I'm not sure if you've seen the clip on my page where the man, the landlord came on there and said that she's pretty much bought the entire neighborhood down. I think it's Walmart buggies all in the yard. The house is not kept up. Um, and it's just a complete mess. So, oh, boss lady is she's in the chat right there, the time wise page. She's in the chat if you want her to come up and give you more info. But the guy was going, I think, Monday to try to get papers served to have her out of his house because he want her out.
Oh, boss lady.
Yeah, in the chat, it's time wise. She just commented, "I am here. If you want her to come up, she probably can give you more info."
She's welcome to come up if she'd like to. She has to be respectful though.
Oh, she's very respectful. She's respectful.
Okay.
Boss lady, if you choose to come up, just request a box.
Yeah, just request the box. I saw somebody said that you seen her true colors.
But yeah, that's pretty much what it is right now. Um,
Good morning.
Good
Good
morning.
morning, boss lady.
Hi.
How are you this morning?
Blessed. I gotta clock in for 8:30, but I leave around 8. So um just a little clarity of what she was saying. The owners are proceeding to evict her. It's three of them, so all three of them are going to the county court to file on her.
Wow.
She's a real life scam. I'ma just say that. I'm not gonna speak anything else, but I had to see her for what she really is. She's a real life scammer. She
I'm
really
glad
is.
you came to the light.
She find any reason to ask donations, right?
Hmm.
Once I seen that she didn't pay, once the owners told me that they paid the water bill, it kind of made me feel like okay,
I know
and
she got on here and raised for the water bill, and
I
then the owners
know.
paid it. Okay.
right, she raised
And
three
asked over
hundred
and over
and
again. She would
three
be like, it
hundred.
was one price and then the next and then the next.
If y'all notice on the whole thing, she never like when it was 173 when she first said when I she got on live and she was crying. She said it was 173. Then she said it was 228. If you notice when it got to 354, the last $30, I think Kiki gave it to her. She stayed on the phone, but she never paid it. She stayed on the phone on her live
Uh
and
huh.
muted it, but she never paid it. If them people wouldn't, because the way we had it set up, every week we have a conference call because the owners wanted to make sure that the situation was getting better. That was one of the stipulations to let her stay there until July. Once the man and his sister and them called me that Monday and they said that they paid the water bill, say $422 was the past bill from August to February. Then they charged them additional $80 to reconnect the same day. That's how it was 500 and something, 40 some dollars. She never said that she didn't pay it. She made y'all think, she made all of us think she paid it because she showed the water on, back on. Once I told her that she didn't pay the water bill, first she tried to lie and say, yes, she did, yes, she did, yes, she did, arguing with me on the phone. I said, Zim, you did not pay that bill. Yeah, I did, boss lady. Yeah, I did. I got my receipt. I said, Zim, the lady sent me the receipt where she paid that bill. Now she want to go on social media and say, yeah, I got exposed for not paying my water bill. True. But you got exposed for not being who you are. I am who I say I am, but I'm not going to sit here and let you keep using me. I'm not doing it.
Oh, so she's now tried to flip the other situation to
Yep.
explain her $300 lie.
354. But what it was that the same week that she got the 354, that was that Friday. She turned around that Saturday and asked for donations for her daughter's birthday party. So
Yes.
I said, I was like, wait a minute, you sitting on this thing asking for money for your daughter's birthday party, but you still got the $354. If y'all notice, look at the receipt that she spent for her daughter's birthday party. It was $354.
Also, at the top of the receipt for the birthday party, you will see where she purchased her brother, baby daddy, a Visa gift card, a Meta Visa gift card for his headset.
For his headset. Hmm. So she
Honey,
asking donations from her chat to take care of and purchase stuff for a man that don't work. They looking for him for child support, and you still asking your panel and your supporters to buy stuff for somebody. He don't even take care of his own kids.
where Blue Eyes at? Where is Blue Eyes at? Because she told me if I got in her business, it would be a wrap. That why
Who
am I in
who
her
who is
business
Blue
like
Eyes?
that? Nobody, honey. It was you weren't. Don't worry about them. They
Oh,
were
I
just
probably wasn't there
here.
then.
No, no, no. She was trolling in my chat when I started talking about Zim.
Oh,
And so you like somebody said, this is the stars aligning because people like to call us trolls, like to say we're liars, like to say that all we care about is using their lives as info for our lives. No, I don't pick somebody out of a hat and say, I'm going to talk about them today without knowing that something isn't right. This is before you came along, boss lady. Every time they had a birthday, they was dressed down to the nines with alcohol in hotels, talking about how they went out. And then the next week, we need money for food to feed the kids. This has been going on for years. And it's the same thing. And then she thought she was going to be able to use that baby and the baby's illnesses to just collect, 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 collect. Period. That was her
Let
only
me tell you
game.
about what she said. She said that she was glad that she's got a special needs child. She's glad that she has blessing. Blessing is going to be her way out. Now, who would wish and hope and be thankful for the fact that you have a child that's pretty much that has disabilities so that that child can be your way out simply because you don't want to work? So you can pull in a check for your baby simply because you don't want to work. Who in their right mind would be glad about having a special
Never.
needs baby?
Nobody. 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 Because you may have gotten her through this period of illness, right? Where maybe they'll be ready to take out the G tube. That doesn't mean she's going to be good forever. Who would want that? Who would want that? Who would even say those words out of their mouth? Forget about saying it on the internet that is recorded. She said God gave her a way out when she was. Wow. It's worse than I thought. I mean, I knew it was bad, but it's worse than I thought. For everybody who says we do this for clout, we do this because we don't like her, we do this because
And I
we're
wish
trying to
people would
take a
pay
black woman
attention.
down.
It's the
Go ahead,
same
Michelle.
thing. She do the same thing every day, all day long. She want to talk about her eye. She want to talk about God. She want to talk about how she's struggling. She want to talk about how she's being bullied. When that's really not the case. We're just telling the truth about her. We're not trying to keep her from telling her story. But when it's two people in one household, both of y'all are able to work. It's not fair that you get on here and take advantage of other people. I seen a video back in 20.
Oh, she must have got a call. Oh yeah, cry in a minute. Cry in a minute. She'll start talking about stuff to amp herself up to
She was
cry.
saying send her some money because she's a mother. And then she had a GoFundMe started for her, said send some money for them. She want to put her child in private school. And she's a
What?
first time mom. Yeah, she want to put her kids, want to make sure her kids have the best education, help a struggling family. Oh, let me give you some information on the dad too. So she told us that her dad is a big time drug dealer. He's a big time drug dealer. So we found out about the dad. He wasn't a big time drug dealer, and he was also on drugs. Her mom was too.
Wow.
So yeah,
But a lot of people have that fascination that their father's out there slinging, and so in their mind, they had to be the biggest and the baddest. But when you are selling your product or a product similar, you're never making money. What's that saying? Don't get high on your own supply. Once you're doing that, you're selling enough just to make sure that you have it. She makes a big deal out of doing things she's supposed to do.
I want to say one more thing, and I'm gonna drop down too.
Okay, man.
Pay attention to how Zim always saying. She'll get on and she's trying to prove herself to the chat, and then she'll say, "I can show y'all. I got the receipt. I got the paperwork. I can show y'all. I can show y'all." Notice she says that a lot, and she never, ever, 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 ever shows anything. And when you ask her in the chat, "Okay, show me," then she'll say, "I don't have to show y'all shit." It's the
Yep.
same lies and the same stuff. It's been in repeats. It sounds like a rinse repeat cycle daily with her. All day long, it's the same exact thing. And I wish people would wake up. It's two people in that house. It's two able bodied people. And both of them should be able to work. The
A
reason
hundred and
why
ten percent.
the reason why she bought new clothes for that birthday party for those kids was simply because they don't have any clean clothes. She hasn't been to the laundromat since December, and I know y'all seen that. She hasn't washed clothes since December.
Has she left the house other than to go to a doctor's
No,
appointment?
no, no. She has not washed clothes since December. You're right, and her eye is not a disability. Her eye is not a disability.
Wow. I always think that it's low enough, and then I find out more and realize I didn't even dig the hole deep enough.
I'm just curious to see what she's gonna be on asking for today because I know it's coming.
Oh, it'll be something. It'll be
Every day, it's
something.
like she sit back and make up stuff to ask for every
That's what
single
she
day.
does at night when she's not live. What can we ask for today? They
Yeah,
collaborate, I
yeah,
believe.
yeah. And when we had that live on last week, we did the breakdown. She pulls in $2,000 a month. Since August, she's pulled in $14,000. Her rent
Wow.
is only $240, so the rent only makes up of $1,666 of that. That
She pays
still leaves
$240 for that big ass house.
$240. Yes, Section 8 pays the rest. So with $14,000 and only $1,666 going towards rent, That's still $14,000 that's not accounted for. Let's factor in the fact that she hasn't paid a water bill, she hasn't paid a gas bill, she begs for everything that she needs, she gets food stamps, so she's not buying food. So ask yourself, where is the $14,000 at? And she don't have nothing to show for it. On top of
She
the
could
money
have had a
she's making
car
on
with that.
TikTok. Yeah, I wish people would look at it from that perspective. She's not buying clothes. The kids really don't have clothes like that. She's not spending the money on food. That lady, who was the lady's name, y'all? She took her and bought all that food at Costco at the beginning of February. She took her to Costco and spent $500.
For
So
what? She don't have no stove.
right, and she get food stamps, which lets you know she's selling those food stamps. I wish people would wake up and put two and two together and realize that it equals four and not three. Yeah, her name is Claudia. Claudia took her to Costco and bought $500 worth of groceries from Costco.
Um,
So keep in mind, Zim isn't paying for anything, anything. Like they're pretty much paying for her and her kids and her baby's father whole existence. If the same women wouldn't let their baby father sit at home and play a game all day. So that's what I'm not
exactly
understanding.
right. That's my. They wouldn't tolerate it from their family members. They wouldn't be giving a family member 100, 200, $300.
Uh-huh.
Especially with a man in the house. They would
Right.
be like, he needs to go to work, pay down the child support, and take the rest. He's in the house, but when we talk about he won't never leave me. And then every time you turn around, she'll be like, you could get out, you this, you. Then he's not leaving that house. He's not leaving there. Why? He get to live there for free, eat, sleep, wash if he's washing, and play the game all day. And pick up the kids from school. Who's leaving? Where he going? He ain't gonna get it no better. She the beggar in chief. I'm sorry, I closed my notebook and everything. Blue Eyes, where you at, baby? Where you at? Because where all the rest of the trolls? Why wasn't they up here clamoring to say anything? No, and I don't want to hear it. My rap is corny enough. Yeah, she makes a big flare of saying they're not, and she's gonna prove it. And then, of course, doesn't prove that they're not siblings. Says she's gonna show the birth certificates and don't. Like it's that's what they do. How many of them said? How many times did Tim Nash say, "I always show y'all receipts," and never showed a single one? I wonder what his mods are doing now. Everybody getting sued. Everybody. Mm-hmm. Okay. Wow. That was crazy. Cat is up here. I'm gonna try to go through some people quickly because took us to the left. Cat is up here. Let me show you what she looked like yesterday when she came to beg for money. Cat, and the people sending her money, what do you think that money is going to? You really think it's all going to a hotel room? Huh? She couldn't even keep her eyes open. So the phone kept falling. Um, she couldn't even form a sentence. So she ended and came back. But she knew how to ask for money though. Y'all can watch this and still give her money? And this photo was not her blinking, by the way. That wasn't a blink that I just happened to catch her in. That's what her eyes look like. I understand, Miami. I understand. But y'all keep on. You know how they always say awareness is going to cause somebody to unalive? No, your money is going to cause somebody to unalive. Because you can see clearly what's happening and you're still sending money. And then you'll have to live with that for the rest of your life. As long as she gets money, she doesn't need help. Period. And you want to say, well, oh, she has a problem. They won't let her in the shelter and blah, blah, blah. She needs those consequences to stop. Beautiful Viola, congratulations. Peaches, you tried it. So she comes live to tell us a whole story about, let me get to the page. Wait, let's go back. So for Valentine's Day, she does a post to say that her man got her a brand new HP laptop. If that was brand new, girl, that might have been brand new some years ago. But whatever, it's new to her, right? And it was trade for him helping somebody do work. They gave you a brand new laptop. Okay, whatever. But brand new to you, I wouldn't be mad if it worked and did what I needed it to do. No problem, right? So now she's going to use it to get her GED, which if she actually does, I'm proud of her. I don't care how old you get. I don't care how old you get. There is pride in having that piece of paper. Right. At least Maggie will be like, I want to go to a concert. Who's going to send me the money? I need $315. I want DoorDash. And she'll be like, yep, I get everything paid for and I still want DoorDash. But when I tell you her numbers have decreased dramatically, sweet tea, you are invested in other people's business. Do you think that statement is going to make me do anything differently? It's not. You won't be the first. You aren't the first, and you're not the last. Awesome. Awesome, heavy metal mom. I got my degree as an adult as well because I had to wait until my son was old enough. And in some classes, I was the oldest one there. Didn't care at all. Because guess what? Nobody could take that piece of paper away from me. Nobody. But then she starts to talk about how she's so upset that she has to go all the way back to Ohio because her man's mother is unaliving. Can you imagine if he White Sox. I've let go somewhere, please. You've had absolute carte blanche and you still can't sit still. Can you imagine if his family or his mom or him even saw that? If he is so horrible, why did you go back? Why did you go back? If supporting him through his mother unaliving is too much for you to do. And then she's like, and I have to sit there and the dog has to sit on my lap because he's not going to get in the back with his sister. Girl, nobody cares about that right now. Nobody cares about that right now. Hey, Bossy 56. Nobody cares about the dog laying on you. And what I loved is somebody was like, well, then you get in the back seat. And it was like an epiphany to her. Oh, well, I always sit in the front. Well, if the dog laying on your lap is too much for you to bear, sit in the back. That just came to you because somebody said it to you? Somebody make it make sense. And then, of course, she doesn't have winter clothes. Why not? You didn't move to the deep south. Shoot, it's 31 degrees outside, and I'm in Florida. But let me make it sound even worse. Because they have to go to Pensacola first, then back up to Ohio, go there for a couple of days, and then come back, go back to Pensacola, and then back to where they're staying. And she's upset that they both smoke. And she's going to have to smell it the whole way. Then why are you going? Stay home. You and the dog stay home. And let the two children who are losing their mother go. I couldn't imagine my significant other getting on social media and complaining about having to support me while my mother unalives. My mother. And then she said the famous last words. I have to figure out this shit. You're going to figure out what exactly? It's not about her being unattractive. It's about her, every time you turn around, needing to complain to her chat about what she needs. You don't think that they've given you enough money already? You get a Social Security check and he gets a Social Security check now. The both of you. You do, Georgie? You want to come up and tell us? Before, he was the only one getting a check and you had to live by his rules because it was his money. Now you both get a check? Congratulations! Pregnant with twins. Wow. That's amazing, Georgie. Double the trouble. Does she live close by? Nice. I'm sure. Double the trouble it is. I love when twins play the game like they switch to see if people know or can identify them. I think what they say is to tie a ribbon around their wrist or their foot until you can tell them apart if they're identical. That's amazing. As rough as what we talk about is, there's always a shining light. Yeah, that's a ride. Please, please, son, do not have twins. Please. Please. I'm sorry, but I hope he doesn't find out that that's how she acted about him. User gone, of course, because those are empty promises. Those are empty promises. They mean absolutely nothing. Oh, I'll pay you back. My check is coming. I'll pay you back. Empty promises. Now, who do I want to do? Because I don't think I'm going to get... I might get to all three. Let's try. I missed Monday. No, Tim is going to be last. Tim is going to be last. Tim might not be last. Hold on. Of course not. Tim and them didn't pay back the two women that they owed money to because they talked bad about them. Whatever. Fae Fae. So her lives have been stop hating people. Fae Fae, you have all the nerve in the world to tell people to stop hating people because you hate everybody that's not like you. You speak disparagingly about people who aren't like you. You go in other people's lives and talk junk to people who aren't like you. And when somebody tries to teach you something, you would prefer to stay ignorant than learn something. And I think it's because you just don't want the truth. You don't want any truth that would dissuade you from your long-held beliefs. Because according to Fae Fae, in all her 50 years, she's never seen a racist thing happen. Excuse me? You live in these United States, and in all your 50 years, you've never seen a racial incident? Never. And when I tried to give you an example, and somebody gave me 10, I think it said 10 cents, maybe 30, I'm not sure, that I was only in her live to get money. Girl, I have my own life. Why do I need to be in yours to get money? But the reality is that I was telling her something that would crumble her own belief, her own jaded, 100% wrong belief, and she didn't want to hear it. And then I got accused of telling people that I was going there. I don't forewarn anybody that I'm going into a live because I don't know if I'm getting in the box. So why would I tell anybody? What they don't understand, though, is when my light goes on, if I'm in a box, people can see it. How does she think that we know when she goes live? But It's whatever. One of the things about Fae Fae is she is a victim to the other. It's never her. It's never her skill set. It's never her attitude. She is strictly a victim to an other. So she went on a job interview. I think it was on Zoom, if I'm not online, I should say. And she said it was a group interview, but it was just her and one other person. And she felt like she should get the job because she had 10 years experience. And the other person was a preschool teacher. But she got passed over because the woman was Middle Eastern. Her words, not mine. Why is her being Middle Eastern even relevant? Because what Faye fails to recognize is that her attitude literally leaches out of her skin. She acts superior. Can you imagine having her on the phone talking to people? How she would act if she heard an accent? They'd rather the kindness of a preschool teacher than an attitude of someone who's worked 15 years. But Faye doesn't understand that. When McDonald's doesn't want you, it's a problem. Because what they're looking for is attitude, not perfection. As a hiring manager, I would hire somebody with less experience who had a team spirit, who was willing to learn, who was willing to be curious over someone who had been in the business 20 years. You want to know why? Because when I go to the young person who's eager to learn and say, hey, you did this wrong, this is how you're supposed to do it, they receive it. Somebody with 20 years of experience will look back at me and say, I've been doing this for 20 years. I'll tell you why you get passed over as an HR manager. They don't like your attitude. You think you're being coy and cute and they must be like me because they look like me so they'll understand my underhanded compliments. But they'll also be able to see who you really are. Then she talks about how she doesn't want gifts because she doesn't want TikTok to get the money. Girl, you can't get gifts because you literally turn off 80% of the people who watch you. You don't ask for them because you can't get them. And you spend time being jealous of people who do. They try to say that we're jealous of them. Trust me, I wouldn't want to be you on any day. But she literally makes videos about people who get gifts, especially the rich people who get gifts. How do you think they got rich? Because people decided to buy whatever product, platform, whatever it was that they were selling. So most stars have come to social media and make money on social media. Do you think Cardi B needs the money she makes on YouTube? Or she likes money? Okay. Then she talked about how she's mad at TikTok because she did reviews on 6 products and was promised a $5 payment for each. So TikTok owes her $30. Do we think that she read the fine print though? Good morning, Canada. Calgary, Alberta specifically. Because I know that a lot of times when they say we'll pay you $6, they mean in TikTok bucks, meaning you'll get a discount off of the next product you buy, not we're going to hand you $6. But I know Fae Fae doesn't read fine print. She sees money and thinks she's going to get it. She could go to ChatGPT and say, how can I make money on TikTok? Give me a step-by-step guide. She could do that, but she's not. You would have to be nice to people. If you were going to sell products on TikTok, you'd have to be nice to everybody because they would be a potential customer. Fae Fae doesn't have that skill. Then she said that she had TikTok Lite and TikTok on her phone, and she wanted somebody else to tell her what it meant. ChatGPT is free. No. The first one she did, not the second one. So, for anybody who doesn't know, TikTok Lite was created to give you a similar experience, but to pare it down if you didn't have a lot of space on your phone. So she has defeated the purpose of TikTok Lite because she has them both on her phone. That's a Google search. But again, somebody who isn't the slightest bit curious downloads them both and thinks they show me the same thing. What's the difference? And didn't think to ask the question. I've never even heard of TikTok Lite until she said it. Like, really? Then she railed about the game again. So again, this is the funniest story. So she sees a game that promises that you can make money and download the money to your payment app of choice. Then as she's playing the game, she finds out you have to have a minimum of $500 and reach a certain level to get the money. Because of course she don't read the fine print. So she claims she got to the level, got to $600, and still couldn't download it. So what did Fae Fae do? Fae Fae wrote the developer saying that he was a fraud, a liar, all of the things. She couldn't get the money. They're lying, they're scamming, whatever. She expected to have a good outcome from that, though. When she went back to see if it was fixed, they had deleted her entire account. So that when she went back in, she was back at level 1 with no money. Now, I think most of them are scams. I really do. But did you think it was going to be something? You think suddenly they were going to be like, oh my God, we messed up. Here's $600. By the way, this picture was after our first conversation. She couldn't handle it, so she cried. So our second conversation, I should have known it wasn't going to go nowhere. Can you imagine opening up the app later and finding out you're at 0? Yeah, all my photos are live, are real. I don't use Chat GPT or any AI to create the photos. They are real, either from a live, a video, something. But this is the thing. She talked about these games being scams weeks ago, months ago. And then she tried it again, expecting a different outcome. Definition of insanity. Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different outcome. And then she's like, now I'm trying to get a job. What do you mean now? I thought you've been looking for a job for months. And then she says this. She's struggling to get a job because she lives in a town that is 95% Arabic. No offense. That they're the ones getting the jobs. Please do not ask me to join a good time, because I'm going to say yes every time. So let's look at it. Let's look at it. First of all, she doesn't live in a town. She lives in a city. This is a breakdown of the racial demographics of the city of San Diego. And when I did the chart the first time, this is where I used AI, by the way. When I looked at it the first time, it didn't even put Arabic it was in the other. So I asked for a second breakdown, putting those of that declare themselves Arabic, because that's not a thing. But what would that be? Well, the price, lady, the price is, what is it? What is it? The price is in the pudding? Whatever it is. Ma'am, what are you talking about? So, that's a lie. And then when she doesn't get any traction on any of that, she moves to, where are the trolls? Where are the trolls? I know you're in here. I know you want to come in here and say something. Girl. What? I think you need to ask Maggie to come to you and teach you how to beg, because you don't have the stamina. You turn it immediately to trolls because it's boring. And then she calls out All for One by name. And that we're idiots for sitting on TikTok all day. What are you doing, Faye? Do you know how often her light is on? if we're an idiot, you have to be an idiot. Because if you know we're on all day, you have to be on all day. Are you an idiot, Faye? She tries to be nice for a couple of days, thinking it's going to get her money. And when it doesn't, real Faye returns. You only call All for One's name for clout. That's it. It's for clout. Because you're hoping people come in and have something to say to you. That's the only way you get your energy up. But the moment someone comes in there and tells you what they really think, you mute, you block. You don't really want to tussle. Good morning, MLA. You don't really want to tussle. And then, of course, she says we hate them and we need to grow up. I don't hate anybody. It's not about hate. You, on the other hand, hate people. You make that very clear and very apparent. I might not like some folks. I don't like when people take advantage of other people's kindness. That irks my nerves. You can say they're adults, but if they're adults to give you money, why aren't they adults when they give money to a rich person? I'll wait for an answer. People she supports are multi-millionaires, if not billionaires. Why aren't you questioning them how they made their money? Because in order to make money, somebody had to spend money. She actually calls him a lying son of a bitch. I know for a fact All for One doesn't get a dime. Come over here to me, Fae Fae. I do. Come over here to me. He doesn't get a dime, but I do. Come on. Come on over. And then, of course, she talks all that trash. I'm sure All for One is blocked, as am I. You don't want the smoke. So you talk about somebody who isn't paying you any attention, really. Who can't even see the live if he's on his main account. You throw disparaging comments at him, hoping to get people who support him to come in and have words with you. But you know who to play with. Because you aren't going to come over here and get in the box. So leave my friend alone. Oh, by the way, y'all, she's going to give our names to the president of TikTok. Which one? The president here in the US or the actual president of TikTok? I'll wait. Y'all look for your email, a message from TikTok president. Or are you going to send it to the TikTok president that's a friend of mine? Please do. I'm sure she'll have some choice words. Please do. I'm waiting. Next. MLA, I love your words. We're here. This is the March calendar. I will be putting it up, but just so you know, it's a little better. You asked for it twice, so I will oblige. So I know he hasn't been on in a day, and he's going to be like, I wasn't on and they still talked about me. You damn right I did. Because, as usual, I have questions. Because some things don't make sense. And when it doesn't make sense, it probably ain't true. And then when I figure out that it probably ain't true, then my next step is, well, then what's happening? So we all know that he claimed that he left TikTok. No, let me start with the good stuff. He finally praised awareness for saying that the letters and the phone calls need to stop. Tell me where you been. Because anybody with any credibility in the game has been saying that. I know I certainly have been saying that. It does us no good. Before, he was saying that the people who follow us are doing it, and even if we're not doing it, we're not holding ourselves accountable for what people who listen to us do. How do I take accountability if I don't know who it is? I don't know if they listen to me or not. There are many people on this app that talk about you. Many. So, am I supposed to take accountability for an adult who's doing things that I don't agree with, that I've said over and over and over again? You are being unhelpful. How do I take accountability for that? But he did say that he was thankful that awareness has come out and said it needs to stop, and I will add my voice to that, as I have always done. Trolling, writing letters, calling hotels, calling jobs. Step too far. Especially the jobs. I want you to stop begging on TikTok. I don't care about your program beyond that, unless you're being a bad person. But for me, you are on my radar for begging on TikTok and Facebook. You stop that, I go away. I didn't say leave TikTok and I go away. Stop begging on TikTok and I go away. I don't have Tim Nash up here every single day. Where's Tim? Where's Tim? Where's Tim? He's not here for me to talk about him. He's not begging. I go away. Now, I can't control what other people do. And if somebody is putting them in a bad situation so they have him to talk about, shame on you. Because you know what? Instead of worrying about him, if he's prepared to stop begging on TikTok, there are 100 more people you could cover. I know they did. So he says he's leaving TikTok because apparently the hotel was getting call after call after call. Now, you might not recall this, but of course I do. And I said to y'all, he's just doxed himself. Watch and wait what happens. Because he told the chat when they were like, why don't you get a job at the hotel? He said, oh, I'm in a small hotel. It's only 20 rooms. And the girl at the front desk is always there. And it's independently owned. And they only use a maintenance worker every once in a while. Do you know how easy it is to look up small hotels in Dyersburg? Dyersburg is a blip on the map anyway. You said it was 20 rooms in the hotel. And I told y'all when he said that, something was going to happen next. Bubby Bauer, you too much. And lo and behold, what happened? The hotel got phone calls. Why would you do that? If this, what you're doing now, wasn't the goal. He knew people would find it and start calling. He knew that. So he claims the hotel starts getting phone calls. They tell him he's going to have to leave if the phone calls don't stop. Now, how does that make sense? How can Tim and Angela control what people do? Correct, Tonya Kabruku. So then he makes this big, we're leaving TikTok. Okay, Tim, you said that before. And I was like, countdown from 10, 9. We got to about 8, and he was back. And what did he say? What was the reason why he came back? Because of what happened on Reddit. What does Reddit have to do with TikTok? Go fight your battles on Reddit. I told y'all he has a lack of self-control. Because if I knew that every time I made a move, somebody was going to talk about me on Reddit, guess what? Reddit would, and it have bothered me, Reddit wouldn't be on my phone. Because I'm going to be too tempted to go look. And then when I look, I'm going to get mad. And then I'm going to raise my blood pressure. So why would you do that? And I asked him outright one day, why you keep going to Reddit? I can't help it. Why? Why can't you help it? Take it off your phone. Block it from your internet. Block it. Because you can't control other people talking about you. You can only control your reaction to it. So if you have no self-control and not looking, leave it be. But that was all BS. Because like-minded people come together. Like-minded people come together. So then he makes this flurry of coming back. And nobody's going to take TikTok from me. Nobody told you to leave TikTok. I never suggested you leave TikTok. Stop begging on TikTok. But I didn't say, oh, and you need to leave TikTok too. That was your choice. You said that. So suddenly they have a new plan. I think originally he said 1,000. Then I think he moved it to 800. Now this is what was fascinating to me. In the couple of years you've been begging for money, you have never asked for the car to get fixed. Because if the car got fixed, you could have done DoorDash, Uber Eats, Spark, whatever. But the car was never good enough for you to do so. But now that you want to leave town, you can ask for the car to get fixed? Make that make sense. Oh, thank you, Erica. That was perfect. Now you can ask for the car. And I've been talking about why haven't you asked for the car to get fixed all this time. But now you want the new tire, and you said spark plugs, but of course you didn't end up needing spark plugs because you didn't know what you was talking about, and an oil change. So you've been rounding around with a dirty oil all this time, but now that you want to leave town, you have the gall to ask for the money. When if you had asked for the money before, you might have been able to make money. Promising, not enough. He would throw it out there. Oh, we need a new tire. We're on a donut. But what we really need is the hotel room paid for. What we really need is food. And then he announces that the rest of the money is because they're moving. Now, I don't know who he's talking about that they said that they looked in like a radius of 30 minutes away to look at towns, and people are trying to figure out where he is. This is the thing. I don't care where you're going, because I focus on what you do on TikTok. So I don't care if you go to Timbuktu, Thailand, Australia, Canada. If you're on here begging for money, I'm going to cover you. Period. So I don't care where you are. And most of us don't. Are you begging for money on TikTok to live when there are two able-bodied people who could work? I don't condone calling jobs. If I want you to stop begging, why would I want you to get fired? Please, if that's what y'all are doing, stop. It's not helpful to the cause. How can I say get a job and then I take time getting you fired from the job? I don't want you to be homeless, but I think what some people are sick of is that you utilize the people who are kind to you to stay in a hotel room, even though you were like, when it gets cooler, we'll stay in the car, no problem. But it's too hot right now. When has it been? He said 76 and he's cool. Well, when it was 76, you were still asking for a hotel room. Correct. And let me veer off for a second and do a DDS talk. I have watched trolls, and I'm calling them trolls. I'm not saying us. Trolls specifically. Go in just as the person isn't getting a dime and saying something. If you're doing that to make yourself laugh, stop. If you think it's funny, stop. You know why? Because the only thing you're doing is encouraging them to complain more and getting their chat fired up. I watched somebody do it to Alexander the other day. He wasn't getting anything from anybody. Nobody was even talking. And a troll went in and said something. For what? They bank on the trolls to have an additional storyline. See, this is what I mean. You see what they do? And then, of course, because they don't have the intellectual integrity to separate us from the actual trolls, they put us all in the basket of trolls. I'm not a troll. I will go in and ask you what I have to ask you, and I'm out. I'm not making fun of grandmothers and what you look like and where you used to live. I don't do any of that. I am not a troll. White Sox, you're being a troll right now. Oh my goodness. Here, stay right here. I don't know football head. Excuse me. Don't you drink a cup of coffee? Well, I haven't finished a cup of coffee, but don't start. Right, White Sox, you're gonna be in the middle of the grid on Friday. You're trolling right now. You aren't helping the cause. And if you're not helping, you're hurting it. And you give them an excuse to complain. And then they wrap all of us in the troll bubble and say they're all trolls. I'm not a troll. I don't troll. White Sox is innocent. Child, please. You could come get him. He's going to come back to his mommy, though, but you can come get him. But this is what I don't understand. So they get the money for the tire. They get the money for the oil change. He finds out that he doesn't need spark plugs. He only needs an O2 sensor, which, excuse me, nap time is calling. You didn't even bother to go to O'Reilly's before you started asking for money to find out what you needed? Because you were fortunate that all you need is an O2 sensor. What if it was worse? But whatever. So then he says he did some work for somebody and got some money. And he didn't have to pay for the spark plugs. But he says, but the spark plugs are really why we only need $600. And they need the whole $600 now. But if you need $600 to move, why are you going around town and telling people goodbye? Why are you telling people goodbye if you don't have the money? You didn't get a dime towards the 600, as far as I know. But you're giving people your stuff to hold. You're saying goodbye to the people at Planet Fitness. You're talking to your best friend who had to guide you through moving to a new town since you're leaving the town you grew up in. Are you 12? Are you 12? No, I think that what happened, and this is just my opinion, and I thought this before, when they said they were moving and the place didn't require first, last, and security, this is my personal belief, they got housing. They got housing. And I think the $600 was just a cushion to move someplace and be able to buy furniture and all of that. They got housing. And that's why the 600 isn't necessarily necessary. But when he was like, we were storing the stuff that we've accumulated that we can't take with us. How did you get it from Hotel 1 to Hotel B, but you can't take it to the new place? I know one thing that's gonna be in there though. Y'all know what prized possession is gonna be in that car. Y'all know. The air fryer. Thank you, little bit. You always come through right on time. That air fryer gonna be in the car. Y'all got it. How are you leaving the stuff you accumulated in a hotel room that you can't bring to the place you're moving into? And then he's going to go to Walmart and buy a $3 blanket and throw it up so we can't see anything. Make sure your wife keeps her mouth shut. I saw when he brought that up and he looked at her and she turned away. Keep your wife's mouth shut. Keep your mouth shut while you're at it. Always, I'm never going to be live outside. And then the classic of all classics is I want to go back to battling and having fun. Are you going to turn into a Sheena? Because the only person having fun in a battle is you. But it might be a blessing to your supporters that they don't have to fund your every move. So maybe they will have fun for a little while. White socks, sit down. Get down. Get down. Go ahead. Because you don't know what you want to do. Making me close the book and everything. Then, because he was done railing on awareness, he says, there's another problem on TikTok. What's your new problem? What's your new problem, Tim? Two-faced people on here. Really, Tim? Two-faced people is the problem? Why you ain't say people begging on TikTok every day is a problem? Because that's my problem. You worrying about two-faced people who are friends with you and then talk about you. Is it because they came to the realization that you are full of crap? Like we've been saying all along? Are those the two-faced people you refer to? They always say, well, they'll be like, somebody used to be with them with awareness, and then when they really took time to spend time with us, they realized that they were just mean. 1 in 100. I'll give it to you. 1 in 100 may go that way. But I'll say 5 in 10 come our way. They come our way. The majority come our way. And you know how you keep the other 50%? Because they block us. Because if they spent time with us, they would see through you too. So take the one. Sayonara. What is that? 1%? Sayonara. Peace out. Go support a scammer. What's up with the coffee maker? We were saying air fryer. Bye. For every time you leave, I'll pick up 10 more. No problem. I don't know, Miss Diane. But what I also found interesting is that when people are like, how are you feeling? And he's apprehensive. But Angela is excited. You know why Angela's excited? Because she's tired of living this life with you, sir. She's hoping that when you get somewhere new that you're actually going to man up. She's tired of the hotel life. It was fun and adventurous in the beginning. It was nice. You don't gotta clean. You don't gotta worry about things. You get cable, electricity, water for one price. But she's embarrassed. As you should be. You feign that you want this better life. Well, you're giving yourself that opportunity. Let's see if you sink or swim. I don't know if they left. I know when they got off live the other day, they didn't have the money to go. I thought they were leaving yesterday. But they'll come back at some point. We know that to be true. They will be back. No, I was not. I watch Sheena rarely. Every once in a while. Especially when she's having a total meltdown over not reaching a goal. But Tim, I'm going to tell you this. I'll be watching. And if you stop begging, you won't hear me say your name. But if you come on here and you beg for a penny, you'll be back on the grid. So we'll see what happens. Because y'all running around town telling everybody you leaving when you don't have the money to go is suspect to me. But I'll leave it there. Do I want to do Alexander today? I'm going to do a brief Alexander because he's my... can't stand him. This man-child, thinks that he is God's gift to women. He thinks he's God's gift to this app because he literally feels like his time on TikTok should be paid for. For someone who's looking for a job, TikTok is a job. If you aren't getting paid for it, it's not a job. And your version of it's a job is the laziest job I've ever seen. You going to a restaurant, sitting on the ground, being in a hotel room, and turning the camera on, talking about random shit that doesn't matter to anybody else but you isn't work. Really, Tabby? If somebody has posted that somewhere, let me know. Or send me the day and time that it happened. He's sitting in a restaurant. There isn't a single person in his live, because I'm watching from the outside, because I'd be too tempted to say something. And he just starts talking. And he literally says out loud, I'm just going to talk until people come. For what? So he goes on a virtual interview. And at first he doesn't tell you this, but it's relevant to the story, that it's with a temp agency. So they have a great conversation and they want to bring him in for a formal face-to-face interview, but they send him the paperwork. And at first, he describes being upset that they want all of his documents, his ID, social security number, birth certificate. And I'm like, that's standard, bro. Like, you haven't worked that long. It's standard. But then when people start coming in the live, he starts talking about how they want his banking information. But again, he doesn't say that it's a temp agency first. And he's like, I'm not giving them my banking information. What, your PP or your CA? And even if it was a bank account, what could they do with it? Why would they risk losing their business or business license to mess with a random kid's payment app? It sounds to me like you just want an excuse for why you can't work with them. That's it. He's a disgusting human being. He unalived the dog that they wouldn't give to him, so he convinced his roommate to get it for him, then claimed that the dog bit at him. It was a pit mix. It wasn't even a full pit. So he took it to a park, tied it to a park bench, and used something sharp to unalive it and left it there. And he thought he was going to get probation. And the judge said it was the worst case of animal abuse he had seen on his years on the bench. So no, I don't give two kitties. I don't care that he paid his debt to society. He is trash. You do that to an animal, I wouldn't let my kids around him, even if they were his kids. Because what? They start crying too much, you going to freak out? They get on your nerves too much, you going to freak out? And he has multiple kids by multiple women. And he still thinks he's God's gift to women. And women, if you gotta take care of a man in this day and age, get a battery operated boyfriend. The most he wants is a little of that electricity or a couple of batteries. And guess what? He don't talk back. He works until the batteries die. And he'll please you every time. Every time. There was a married woman giving him money until her husband found out. And because he literally would be like, I would wake up and my hotel room and food and smokes and coffee would already be in my account. If you want to be the next Holly, who he harasses, talks about incessantly, obsessed over, keep giving him your money. We know he loves a trucker stop. He then complains to people that he lost 20 to 30% of his battery power waiting on people to come in the live. Oh, we're supposed to rush to come see you, Alexander? We supposed to run to come see you? He's like, what the F? Then he says, I'm trying to be present but I don't have to be. Guess what? Do us a favor. Of course, Jules. He has a racist tattoo in the middle of his chest. And then he starts. I'm so hungry. He even rubs his tummy. I am so hungry. I'm trying to get something to eat. Can somebody please? I'm waiting for a donation. But of course, he's a tough guy. So he's not even thinking about getting a hotel room. He's like, if I have to, I'll tough it out and I'll take a hike. I need to go to another city that's a bigger city with more opportunities. That's not why you're going to go. You're not going for opportunities because why would you leave where you are with the temp agency? You could have a job tomorrow. But you're going to hike out to a bigger place. You want to know why? Because when you have to start over, you need things. Well, I just got here. I don't know anything. I need a hotel room. I just got here. I don't have anything. I need food. See, he thought being a bad boy, being someone out of prison, that women would flock to him because of course they would. I'm good looking and I know how to put two words together and I know how to act superior. Sir, they want a bad boy, not a boy with a bad attitude. Two different things. You thought that people were going to fund you as long as you wanted them to. Where your baby mamas at? You haven't gotten near EBT so that you can go get some food? We have woken up. You are the epitome of a red flag. Not only for scamming on TikTok, but for every woman on the planet. You are the red flag. Who wants to take care of a grown man in this day and age? When there are men out here better looking, doing their thing, prepared to take care of the woman they choose to be with. You absolutely can see the rage. It is literally bubbling under the epidermis, the very top layer of his skin. He said that he thinks it's sad that he gets haters every day. Well, welcome to social media. I get haters every day too. Am I crying about it? Nope. I saw a cat went live. Was everybody supposed to just fall in love with you, Alexander, and think that you were the best thing since sliced bread? People actually have the right to an opinion about you because you keep putting yourself on the internet for people to learn about. And it didn't even take me knowing about the dog to know something was wrong with you. That just added to the validity of my own feelings. Then apparently he had a little tiff with somebody named Juniper, and he's like, picture me caring about somebody with 40 followers. Why are you talking about them then? If they don't compare to you because they only have 40 followers, it pisses me off when people are like, but my followers is this. You have 10,000 followers, but 3 people in here. What difference does it make? I don't understand why people get off on the number of followers, but have four people in the live struggling to do likes. And then he wanted to warn them that if he walks to the next town, it's going to be more expensive. Then why are you going? Then why are you going if you care about it being expensive for the people in your chat? And to tell you who he is as a person, a troll came in and he says that his time is too valuable for the trolls. But then he took the time to read what the troll said and then blocked them. Alexander, that means your time is worthless. Because if you spent the time to read what they said out loud and then told everybody you blocked them, you gave them all the time they needed. And you've just made a fool of yourself again. So you keep doing you, and I'm going to keep doing me. And we'll see who makes it out in the end. Because I think before long, you're going to end up back in prison because you don't like having a life that doesn't fulfill your needs. You don't really care about anybody else's, just yours. But go ahead and get that job because you're only going to get about what? 20% of the check between your child support and your restitution. I promise he gets a job and gets that first check. He's not going to stick around for very long. Because the moment he realizes that he puts in 80 hours in 2 weeks and walks away with 20% of that paycheck, he's going to say, what am I working for? I do better on TikTok. That won't last long either, Alexander, because you're a vile human being. And as long as you're here begging for money, I'm going to be here talking about it. And with that, I close Wednesday. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. I know for some of you it is a ridiculous hour, but this is when I have it in me to do so. Right. The moment they do a background check, you might not get hired. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm sorry. I just briefly wanted to acknowledge someone in our awareness community. There is a young lady who is beautiful inside and outside who has been recently helping Yazzie with her math online. Digital, she literally goes in, they turn off the comments, there is no Cash App and there is no Venmo, and she sits there and helps Yazzie with her math. And her name is P. Lewis. And since we're bullies and trolls, I just wanted to make it clear that we have people who may not come in the forefront, but they are helping others in the back. So I just wanted to say thank you to Miss P. Lewis, Miss Coffee, and I just wanted to get that information out.
Oh, okay, thank you. I love it when it works. I love when the right thing happens because y'all know how I feel about Yazzie. She needs all the help she can get. So thank you for bringing that to our attention.
Good
Good
morning.
morning.
It's so good to hear your voice, Dee Dee.
Thank you. It's good to hear you.
Listen, you go for one day for real life and we just spaz out. I woke up this morning, I made my cold brew. I say, Dee Dee gonna be on. I'm making cold brew this morning. But I just wanted to share very quickly that this morning was a true testament of the work of awareness, real awareness, when we're able to actually have conversations with former moderators and get information and get to the bottom and the truth of things. And it means so much when people come over and they are respectful to those who were, supporting the bad behavior. So just kudos to all of the work that everyone does. And let this morning, again, be a testament to the work that we do. And it should encourage us and remind us to not give up on awareness. We won't be able to, transform all, but a great amount of people come to the light. And there are so many people who remain silent, but they see, they watch, they listen, and then they do alter their behavior. So that's why we do what we do. So Digital and everyone in awareness, thank you for your hard work.
Thank you. Thank you for your hard work. A lot of people are quietly behind the scenes doing things, taking screenshots, letting people know. I get lots of look at this person, see this person, do this, do that. And so I say all the time, I am literally standing on your shoulders. I couldn't do what I do without all of you. And so I appreciate it. And I know that there are people who are messaging, there are people who are walking people through things, there are people who are helping people with resources. All of that allows me to come on here and start talking and sharing the information. So I appreciate you all. Hold on. There was one more person. Oh, they dropped. Okay. I appreciate every single one of y'all. Y'all do the work, and I appreciate it. Well, you know what I always say, hug your loved ones because tomorrow isn't promised. And please, 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 please do some self care today. Oh, thank you. Even if it is doing meditation with Stella. I'm kidding. Close your eyes and see the wonderful future ahead of you. If that's all you have time for, 1 minute. And this song is for everybody, every scammer, every beggar, every liar, every manipulator who say that we do this for clout. Wait, I gotta turn up echo. Yeah, I saw Cat was on. Alexander was on too. J. Paul, of course, is on. Echo. Please play Clout by Offset and Cardi B.
Here's Clout by Offset featuring Cardi B on Amazon Music.
Everybody have a wonderful Wednesday. I'll see you all Friday morning. And just to prove to you that White Sox isn't shit, he is asleep right now, comfortable, but not on top of me. He only comes for y'all, I'm telling you. Anyway, have a great day. I'll see you all later.